Ladies and gentlemen, Mmusi Maimane, aka Maimane, has jumped into the fray as well regarding the immigration issue. So we have three angles right now. The first one is an angle push against illegal immigration by Put SA First Movement and the Action SA leader Haman Mashaba. The second angle of which Julius Malema has jumped into is of saying, hey, look at me. I'm taking the corporate companies that are hiring folks, illegal immigrants, right? And then up comes Mmusi Maimane jumping into the fray and say, hey, over there across the borders, I am criticizing and putting my blame at the doors of the ZanuPF organization and the Zimbabwean government and your King Muswati for how they've created a situation where there's been a whole lot of folks who don't have job opportunities and as a result they are in the diaspora. So that's how now the angle is right now. So every politician now is cashing in on this voter ticket of immigration issue. The ANC also is in it. Enthusiastic minister in the immigration or home affairs, who used to be the minister of health, is up in it. There's been a whole lot of blunders at the borders with that over 27 million rands fence, which Patricia DeLille was responsible for. And the whole situation died out and nobody's talking about it now. So if you look at this situation, back in the days, most opposition parties used to criticize Thabo Mbeki on his foreign policy. They used to call it quiet diplomacy, because most people on the extreme wanted the ANC government to just basically say, hey, listen, we're crossing over the borders. We're going to sit down and speak to the late President Mugabe and say, you need to stop what you're doing. We don't care now. We're meddling into the affairs of your country because we don't want the situation to get worse. Okay? Whereas the ANC stance by then was that, okay, these are liberation struggle organizations, they're friends, and we don't want to rile them up. And so we're just having a quiet diplomacy. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing this block right, ECOWA, where when one country is using brute force against its community or against its nation, they will send their military and stop it immediately, or also even state that, hey, listen, we're not going to be trading with you. We're just going to put pressure on you financially and economically for you to stop this, and it stopped that right on its track. The other school of thought is we have to treat a sovereign country as a sovereign country. You don't want another country also in the future, when you spiral down tyrannical level, for them to step in over here, probably send their boots in your country and try to stop you. So it has always been a steady balance when it comes to this country diplomatically. We can remember the election in Zim, when the opposition party said that, listen, the elections were not free and fair, the ballot issues, the intimidations, and so forth which led the opposition party there, I think it's the MDC, protested and went to court and said, SADEC intervene, because we think that the elections are not free and fair. But nothing had happened. The same issues are still continuing in Lesotho. Once in a while, you have some serious political interferences from the governing parties and treating bad of the citizens and the shenanigans when it comes to the elections, and nothing ever fruitful happens, right? So, but now this issue, obviously, you can see that for some reason it's not forgetting the party of Gaydon Mackenzie right now. He's been in the neighborhood of Eldorado Park and so forth, and going into to the shops and looking for folks who have illegally opened businesses there, who are purportedly illegal immigrants and so forth. And as a result, now we're going to see how this is going to move forward in terms of the legalities and the jurisdiction of a political party being able to go into other people's businesses and say, we want to see as to who you hiring and so forth. And yesterday, the Minister of, I think it's of Labor, Tulas Ngezi, was saying he's concerned about the EFF stance of going to the established business establishment and trying to find out as to whether they're hiring the South African populace, and what ratio and percentages and so forth. And then jumping into the issue is the spokesperson of the parliament, Moloto Motap, or is it Motap or Molot? He said that there's nothing wrong with members of parliament who would just go and do their constituency work, going unannounced just to check what's going on in terms of the employment conditions, and then taking that to the committee in parliament, resulting into policies and legislation being passed. So everything is above board, as long as there's no intimidation of employers. And I guess that also would stem into having to agree and setting dates and times for employers to meet. So it's getting very fascinating as we move forward towards elections, because all of these things are politicking. But at the end of the day, they're going to bring a situation where there will be a clear legislation in terms of also the border management, as the Minister of Home Affairs was speaking of, trying to have a sort of a task team or another government agencies that will be dealing with that and coordinating with the Home Affairs, the SAPS, and so forth. So we'll see how this is going to just pan out. That's just my view at the moment. My name is Mamuji, and thanks for watching the Mamuji Show, and I'm out.